Hey, hey, I finally unmuted us. It's one of those little gigs, one of those little things. And also, I forgot to play the intro before we started. So sorry about that. Do you want to do the intro or do you want to just forego it today?
Welcome to the Screaming Room, guys. It's Wednesday night, which means your favorite podcast is live. How is everyone doing? How are you doing, DJ?
I'm well, sir. How are you?
Great. How was your week?
Pretty good, actually. Got to watch some good movies. I actually got to see. I watched a horror movie, but also got to watch The Bike Riders over the weekend.
Same here.
The girlfriend and I went to go see it. We both enjoyed it very much. I thought it was a great little movie, but we're going to be talking about.
I think it's really good too. I mean, it's like I heard some people complaining that it wasn't enough action. It is a little bit more of a biopic, I think, than some people might have been led to believe. But yeah, I thought it was great too. I agree.
Yeah, I thought it was excellent. I had a lot of fun. I had a good time watching it, and I don't know. I like movies like that. I think they're good.
Yeah, me too. Yep. Like I love horror. I mean, horror is my life, but I still also very much enjoy dramas and action, and especially any movies that make me think. Those it doesn't matter what genre.
Right.
If it's like I'm still thinking about it after the fact, I'm a fan of it. So
absolutely. And yeah, I think there's going to be a lot of talk about that movie coming out, but and we got a lot of great horror to look forward to in July. So we're going to be
it's just about to explode. Like
we're about to hit like
everything has been saved up. Like it's ridiculous. We've had some good ones already, but yeah, definitely the big ones are now. It's like every month from here. And now we even have one that we're going to talk about coming out in November. So, which is a rarity to have a really high profile, really quality horror movie in November.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
We can talk about why they're doing that too, to see what the strategy is behind that. Good to see everybody in the chat.
October's so packed.
Yeah, October is always packed for Halloween or for horror movies. Good to see everybody in the chat. Mr. Wonderful, Chris, Miss Me, Karen, Leslie, what's going on? Good to see you guys. Thanks for joining us. Hope to talk to you throughout the show. Today we're actually talking about a few different things. Let me pull this up so it doesn't look like I'm looking on my other monitor. So today we're talking about the Nosferatu trailer that came out that played before The Bike Riders, and I'm sure it's played before a bunch of other movies as well. So if you saw that, we'd love to know. We'd love to know your opinion. We're also going to watch it live here, so we can talk about it. The Heretic trailer as well. I have not seen the Heretic trailer yet, so we're going to talk about that. We're also talking about Robert Englund and John Carpenter finally getting stars on the Hollywood Walk of Fame. So we're going to be talking about that. And then also we're going to talk a little bit about the passing of legendary actor Donald Sutherland. He passed away at 88. So we want to talk about that a little bit and talk about him, pay his respects. And then we both watched a cool little indie flick that came out in 2006 called Isolation that we're going to be talking about the back half of the show. And if you guys haven't seen Isolation, we won't spoil anything. Don't think we really have to.
We'll always warn you guys ahead of time. Like if we're gonna spoil something, we'll let you know. But we don't plan to. There's nothing we need to really spoil this one.
Right. So that's what we're talking about today. You want to get into it?
Yeah. So we're going to kick off with. What were we kicking off with?
John Carpenter and Robert Englund finally getting their stars.
I love John Carpenter's reaction. He literally tweeted out, "I think they made a mistake."
Right.
Or something to that effect. I was like busted up. Like, of course, that's John Carpenter's reaction. Like he swears everybody just hates him. Like Hollywood just hates him. And they kind of did for I think the longest time, but it's
how it is.
Live long enough to see yourself become the hero or the villain, right? Isn't that
right?
How the thing goes? Yeah, and it's like he's for the longest time, he was not Hollywood royalty, like period. He wasn't, but now it seems like some of the greatest horror movies ever made. He's, helmed, and it's just an amazing.
He's a part of it.
Thing to do that, yeah.
Right.
So, and then I mean Robert Englund. I don't think anybody's surprised really that Robert Englund would get it. I think it's more surprising with him that it took so long.
Right.
I
agree.
I thought he got one in the 80s. You know what I mean? Like he was huge.
Well, yeah, because he was super popular. Yeah, he was super popular as Mort, right?
Yeah. I mean, he did numerous things in the 80s. So like I would have thought like that was really, I don't know, it's strange. I mean, because like Willem Dafoe just got his.
Yeah.
And like that is ridiculous. I'm like, what? How do you, like, to me, Willem Dafoe is literally the greatest living actor right now. Like, I honestly think there's nobody better.
Anthony Hopkins is still alive.
No way. There's no way Anthony Hopkins is in the same caliber as Willem Dafoe.
Yeah, because you're right. He's in a league of his own.
No. He's an incredible actor. There's a lot of incredible actors, but Willem Dafoe, there's nobody that he's like literally a modern day man of 1,000 faces. Like he has played so many different roles, and that to me is so much more impressive than just an emotional performance, because he's given tons of emotional performances, but also with like a completely different personality.
Yeah, the same is said about Anthony Hopkins, who's won multiple awards.
Because when he's tried to do stuff like some of the, like, I can't think of a single role. This is what separates it to me, right?
Okay.
I can't think of a single role that Willem Dafoe has played that I was like, that's just bad. Like, that's just not good. Like, bad casting. I don't know what he's thinking or why he did it. I also can't think of a single time I've seen Willem Dafoe just mail it in for a paycheck. Both of those I can think of performances from Anthony Hopkins.
Okay, what are those?
Just off the top of my head quickly. Like, his role as Picasso was awful. Like, I don't know what he was thinking or what they were thinking casting him as Picasso. It's not a good role, and it's really badly cast, and I just don't know what he was thinking. But even worse, there's numerous times where he's phoned it in. The biggest one to me is Wolfman. The Wolfman remake. Like, dude, he just completely phones in that performance.
With what's his name?
Yeah.
It was
Antonio.
What's his name? I can't believe I
always want to say Guillermo del Toro. It's
not Guillermo del Toro.
No, it's
hang on, I'm looking it up. Benicio del Toro. Yeah. With Benicio del Toro. Yeah.
Yeah, and Benicio del Toro gives it everything he's got in that movie. And I think the rest of the cast does a pretty damn good job too. But Anthony Hopkins, like, literally the most flattest performance you're going to see in a movie.
I
understand that. Like, that's fine. I'm not really judging him for doing that. I'm just saying Willem Dafoe, even in the tiniest roles, no matter when you see him, no matter how low budget the thing is, like, he could be doing it as a favor for someone, he still gives it 110%.
Look, I will give you Picasso just because I haven't seen it, so I can't argue against it. But I need to watch The Wolfman again. But I think I enjoyed Hopkins in The Wolfman, and I think Anthony Hopkins has done more roles that require more acting. For example, all of the Shakespeare that he's done.
Willem Dafoe's IMDb. There's so many movies you don't even remember he was in, because he literally turns into another person. Like, he literally is like a totally different, like, there's so many movies that, like, you look at his IMDb, you're like, oh my God, dude, I forgot that he was this character, because that character is so like that character.
I'm not taking anything away from Willem Dafoe. I think he's a fantastic actor. But I just think, as far as historically speaking, the roles that he's done, the training, and the performances that have been put out by both of these actors, I think Anthony Hopkins is still better. I still think he's a better actor.
Either way, I mean, I think Anthony Hopkins is incredible. So I'm not trying to get or take anything away from him. I just, the last couple of years, seeing some of the roles that Willem Dafoe is still constantly doing, and I watched a whole retrospective on him and saw all the different things that the different characters he's played. it's just mind blowing. It literally is like Man of a Thousand Faces. Like,
he's a very good actor.
You know, he's just so versatile. But anyway, we're gotten way off topic there.
Yeah, let's get back. Get back on track here. Robert Englund and John Carpenter finally getting stars on the Hollywood Walk of Fame. This is from Bloody Disgusting. The Hollywood Walk of Fame 2025 class has been announced today, and we're thrilled to pass along the word that two legends in the horror field are getting their bloody flowers. First up is Robert Englund, joins fellow horror acting legends, including Boris Karloff, Lon Chaney, and Bela Lugosi with a much-deserved star on the Hollywood Walk of Fame in 2025. Robert Englund tweeted, "Woke up this morning to discover I'm in great company in the Hollywood Walk of Fame class of 2025. Just to hear my name mentioned alongside Jane Fonda and Prince makes my old heart go pit-a-pat." Englund's name is also being mentioned alongside fellow master of horror John Carpenter today, as Carpenter announced for the 2025 Hollywood Walk of Fame class. Bill Duke, known for his roles in 80s classics such as Predator and Commando, is also being honored. Variety details, more than 30 new stars will be added. So I don't think it has, it doesn't have Carpenter's tweet. But yeah, Bill Duke is being added. I got to see more. Predator and Commando are the only movies that I'm familiar with Bill Duke being in.
Yeah.
So like
I just see, this is what I don't understand with the Hollywood Walk of Fame. It's because, like, I'm not saying they shouldn't give one to Bill Duke. Like, that's fine. Like, he did the stuff I do remember seeing him in, he was great in. So, like, whatever. But how do you wait this long for Robert Englund, especially Robert Englund, but John Carpenter too? I mean, both these guys are just legends. But I mean, Robert Englund has been in so many major movies and major roles. Like, it wasn't like with John Carpenter, I understand, because he was kind of in obscurity for a long time, and it's the horror fan base that keeps pushing him to the top is the reason he's royalty now. But like, Robert Englund was a pop culture icon in the 80s and 90s.
Yeah.
So like, that's so bizarre to me that it took him this long. I don't know what they base things on. I guess it's not really like a Hall of Fame. It's more just like, I don't know. I wonder what they decide these things on, because I can't see how Bill Duke like, I don't know.
I don't know either. But yeah, but I mean, like, he was famous for V, and I know I said the character name incorrectly, so forgive me, chat, for saying the character name incorrectly.
Oh,
but
for
yeah,
Predator.
Yeah, but he was known as if he was known for V, he was also known for what was that movie? I'm losing it.
Yeah, I honestly don't. I'm not familiar with him.
There was another movie in the 70s or 80s that he was in that
like he was in a lot of comedies,
Yeah.
Oh, he was also in Commando.
Oh, that's right. Oh, and Galaxy of Terror. If you watch.
Yeah, I really don't get this, dude. I don't get this. Like, he's in a lot of like little. I mean, he was in a lot of movies. I don't know. Like I said, I'm not wanting to hate on him for his flowers. Like,
no,
that's cool.
Yeah. So
he's still alive, man. 81.
Yeah, he's still kicking.
Jeez.
But yeah.
But yeah. So unfortunately, we also got to mention that we lost royalty this past week in the passing of Donald Sutherland. So he was 88 years old, and he was just like, talk about Hollywood royalty. I mean, he'd been in so many different roles. Like, he's another one of those actors that you almost forget roles that he played, because he just kind of became that character so much that it's like integral part of the fabric of that movie. And yeah, it's like a lot of, like, I think the best like the best supporting roles are the ones that do that don't necessarily stand out. They just become a fabric of that movie.
Well, you start to remember movies by the supporting roles sometimes. I mean, like, Lord of the Rings, Sam Gamgee is more popular than Frodo Baggins, like because of what's his name's performance and the way that the story treated the character, and like you can't have Frodo without Sam, so like there's and then honestly the other hobbits as well, Billy Boyd and the other guy, who played Marion Bithorn.
When I just rewatched that like last week or whatever, I had forgotten those two and just how much fun, like they really set the tone for like the comedic elements of that movie.
They did.
But yeah, I mean, Donald Sutherland, like Invasion of the Body Snatchers is one of my all-time favorite sci-fi horror movies, and he's just incredible in that movie. But yeah, I mean, I'm not as familiar with like a lot of his movies, but that movie in particular, it's just, but I mean, like if you just go and look down his actors credits, I mean, it's just crazy how many different movies he was in. So
he does a lot. Yeah. So
it's
from Bloody Disgusting,
a shame, but you know,
from Bloody Disgusting, after a long battle with illness, it's been announced this afternoon that the legendary Emmy-winning actor Donald Sutherland has passed away in Miami, Florida at the age of 88. Son Kiefer Sutherland writes on Twitter, with a heavy heart, I tell you that my father Donald Sutherland has passed away. I personally think one of the most important actors in the history of film, never daunted by a role, good, bad, or ugly. He loved what he did. He loved what he did and did what he loved. And one can never ask for more than that. A life well lived. Donald Sutherland made a handful of notable pit stops in the horror genre throughout his multi-decade career on screen, which kicked off back in the early 60s. Here in the horror world, Sutherland is known for his roles in Don't Look Now, Invasion of the Body Snatchers, most recently the Stephen King adaptation of Mr. Harrigan's Phone. Sutherland also starred in films including The Castle of the Living Dead, Dr. Terror's House of Horrors, The Rosary Murders, Buffy the Vampire Slayer, Citizen X, Fallen, Virus, Salem's Lot, and An American Haunting. Donald Sutherland won a Primetime Emmy for his role in 1995's Citizen X. His performance landing him the Outstanding Supporting Actor in a miniseries or special honor. He also won a Golden Globe for the same performance and later won his second Golden Globe for 2002's Path to War. Other films and television shows that landed Sutherland nominations at the Golden Globes throughout his career include MASH, Ordinary People, and The Undoing. Sutherland lent his one-of-a-kind gravitas to countless other oh my God, dude. I cannot read today. To countless other notable projects throughout his career, including The Dirty Dozen, Clute, I think that's how you pronounce that, The Day of the Locust, Kentucky Fried Movie, which he was in, Animal House, Murder by Decree, Backdraft, JFK, 6 Degrees of Separation, Outbreak. It just goes on forever.
Yep. His performance in Outbreak is great too. Like, I always forget about that movie. I love that movie.
Deadline notes this afternoon, Donald Sutherland is survived by his wife, Francine Racchetti, sons Roeg, Rosif, Angus, and Kiefer, daughter Rachel, and 4 grandchildren.
Yeah, we can't forget to mention his contribution to Hollywood in simply being the father of Kiefer Sutherland.
Right.
You know, I mean, Kiefer Sutherland is a royalty.
Another great actor.
In horror as well, yeah. So, yeah, definitely an amazing legacy. Will definitely be missed, but never forgotten.
Rest in peace, Mr. Sutherland, and we wish the family well. Right here from the little podcast of the Screaming Room.
Yes, sir. So let's get into some of these trailers.
Yes. Let me bring this up.
Start off with Nosferatu.
Sure. Let me bring this up. I'm excited to talk about this.
While you pull that up, I'll look at the chat, see what we got going on there. If it wanted to work.
Chat's going. We got a conversation going on from Mr. Wonderful and Leslie talking about Nosferatu. Mr. Wonderful.
Yeah, it's not wanting to work on my phone. I don't know what's going on.
He asks, is Nosferatu film based on the White Wolf storyline? I'm a huge White Wolf fan. Vampire Bloodlines was my jam back in 2005 or so. Best vampire RPG ever. Malkavian was my fave. I have not played Vampire Bloodlines. And I also, maybe I'm showing my naivete here, but I am not sure what the White Wolf storyline is. So,
where is this whole conversation happening? Like,
it might be happening
so weird.
On the Screaming Room channel.
On the Screaming Room. Okay, good. So it looks like most of the people are over there. That's good.
Yes, please. If you are tuning in on the Ghost Pirate channel, please move over to the Screaming Room channel and watch us on there. Subscribe to the Screaming Room, because that's where we're going to be starting to stream this. From now on,
exclusively,
exclusively at the Screaming Room. It's going to be myself
soon.
and Ghost Pirate, Mr. Ghost Pirate. So please subscribe to that channel and catch our streams. So anyway, Nosferatu trailer. Robert Eggers remakes a horror classic. As promised, the first official trailer for the Robert Eggers directed Nosferatu debuted exclusively in movie theaters over the weekend. It is now officially available online. Focus Features will release Nosferatu in theaters for Christmas on December 25th.
What a hell of a Christmas present.
It's definitely going to be. So that's it. We can talk a little bit more about it, but let's watch this trailer. Let's open it up here. Sorry, I'm going to have to share this tab. Where is it? There we go. And
so I've seen this trailer once before. You said you had seen it once as well, right?
Yeah, saw it this weekend when we went to go see the Bike Riders.
Yeah, same here.
So here we go.
I just want to make sure everybody, like, we're honest with everybody. Like, we're not pretending we haven't seen this before. Like,
Oh yeah, we're not. Let's go 1080 instead of
some
40,
YouTubers.
I know, first time reactors.
Any names, but yeah, they try to, and then they overreact, and it's like, come on, dude. I know you've seen this already.
Yeah.
Like, the way this whole thing works is kind of not possible to have not seen it, or at least somewhat seen it prior.
Exactly. All right, so here we go.
Come to me. Come to me. Hear my call.
Copyright, because sometimes they like to hit us.
To me.
Just the atmosphere, like the lighting.
Shot.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say. The lighting in this is one of the things that leaped out to me right away. A friend of mine who does a podcast tweeted out saying that it looks like a painting come to life. Like, I agree. I mean, it's, look at that. I mean, like, literally the most deep.
He is coming. He is coming. He is coming to us.
I love that.
Somebody, I'm just going to pause this real quick for copyright. But a lot of, I heard somebody gasp in the theater at that shot when he goes to bite the bird. Somebody was like,
yeah, like, that's what made me laugh. That's why I laughed, because it's like, I did not expect that. Like,
yeah,
it's so nonchalant the way he does it, and that says a lot to me about the way this movie's gonna feel. Like, it's almost hard to even put into words, but there's gonna be like this dark edge that Eggers has in his movies. Like, they're not trying. It's, how sometimes movies like try to be evil, try to be creepy, and then there's really good filmmakers. The best ones are the ones that don't even have to try. It's like their movie is so creepily put together in a natural, stylistic way that it just is.
Right.
And that's what this feels like, even from the trailer. Like, definitely, to me, it feels like the most evil Dracula we've got.
My child.
Like, look at that shot.
I want to see it.
Encountering the vampire.
I'm just so excited to see this Christmas Day.
Nosferatu.
I love that they don't show Nosferatu fully in the trailer, and I know that they will, but I hope that they actually save him and don't ever show him in the trailers. But they will. There'll be trailers closer to the time of it. So, like,
and they're gonna show him. Yeah.
If you don't want to see too much, like, I'm gonna try to avoid the other trailers from here out. I mean, like, that's enough. I'm sold. Not like it'd matter anyway. It's regardless.
Right.
But,
Yeah. We're still going to go watch it.
yeah. I mean, I talked about it in my most anticipated of the year. So
yeah.
Yeah, it does remind me a little bit of Penny Dreadful, but it feels even more like dark and gritty, and it has this, like, it reminds me of Bram Stoker's Dracula. It has a little bit of that like feel, but it feels even more, I don't know, even more visceral, even more like less like that movie feels romantic, almost like a romanticism. This feels more like you're in the dirty gutters of London, you know?
Yeah, with all
like
the rats and everything.
Yeah, yeah. Just the way the cast look, like the clothing and everything, it doesn't look all perfect, you know. It looks gritty and dirty and nasty.
Yeah, I can't wait.
So, yeah.
Yeah, I'm super excited.
That is at the top of my list now. I mean, Longlegs is next that I'm super excited about, but besides Longlegs, Nosferatu is the movie I'm the most excited about right now.
It's gonna be it. I have no doubt in my mind that it's gonna be good, but I just I don't know. I guess I'm just one of those people so far that's like, please don't screw it up. Don't let this be the one Robert Eggers movie that's bad. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like everything he's done is just been so good.
I know I'm gonna love it. I know I'm gonna love it because I don't think Robert Eggers can make a movie that I don't at least appreciate. And so the story is kind of the decider for me with the Robert Eggers movie, right? Because I'm going to appreciate it. I'm going to love the look and the style of it, right? But the story is where it's like, but I already know the Dracula story. So of course the story is going to be cool. Like, I'm not going to see this for the story. Like, who doesn't know the Dracula story? Yeah, there might be a few little twists and turns, but like, I've seen the original Nosferatu. This is a remake of Nosferatu. There's not going to be a lot as far as story-wise that's unique. It's going to be the visuals and the flow of it and the acting, and you know what I mean? That's the stuff that is going to make it worth seeing, and that's what Robert Eggers kills every time. So
yep, it's going to be great.
Yep.
All right.
I think it's going to be like an instant classic. I honestly do.
We got another trailer to look at.
Yeah, this one is the one that I'm probably the most excited about. Like, it's just as far as trailer wise, because this came out of nowhere. Like, I was anticipating the Nosferatu trailer. I was sitting there for Bike Riders just excited as hell, knowing I was about to see that trailer, because there was a report that went out saying that it was going to premiere during the Bike Riders this past week. Which is part of why I went to see the Bike Riders. But anyway, this I didn't even heard about. I didn't know anything. I didn't even know this existed. I woke up yesterday morning and saw, oh, there's a new A24 trailer out for a new movie. I didn't even know it was horror, but I watch every A24 trailer because most of their movies are interesting on some level.
Yeah. Yeah, this is a surprise to me too.
I was like, what the fuck? Like, this is cool as shit. So yeah, so let's just watch this and then
well, I'm going to read from Bloody Disgusting real quick. Hugh Grant becomes A24's latest horror villain in November. Scott Beck and Brian Woods, A Quiet Place in 65, are the writers and directors of the upcoming horror movie Heretic for A24, and the film's official trailer has arrived this morning. A24 will release Heretic in theaters on November 15th. It says, wake up and smell the blueberry pie below. Hugh Grant, Chloe East, and Sophie Thatcher lead the cast of the upcoming horror movie in the film. It says here, two young missionaries are forced to prove their faith when they knock on the wrong door and are greeted by a diabolical Mr. Reed, becoming ensnared in his deadly game of cat and mouse. That sounds fun.
Just wait. So you'll see what there's a lot of what was just said that doesn't make a lot of sense until you see it, like the blueberry pie. But when you see the trailer, you'll get like all the little puns that are in that.
All righty, so here we go.
Hi, good afternoon, ma'am. Are you interested in learning about our Savior, Jesus Christ? Hi. Good afternoon. Hi, are you? My name is Sister Barnes, and oh my gosh.
It's already really well shot. Like,
are you interested in learning more about the Church of Jesus Christ?
Come on in.
we can't come inside unless another woman is present.
My wife is home. Does that count?
Great.
You like pie?
Yeah.
My wife has pie in the oven.
I could tell that you are a very spiritually curious person.
I think it is good to be religious, to find your faith in a doctrine you actually believe.
Well, our work here is done.
And I will go and check on the pie.
So sleep, silent angel.
That is so fucking cool. That is such a cool idea.
Did you fit through this? You're crazy.
I'm sorry, I'm not commenting too much because this is the first time I've seen this, but I wanted to just pause and talk a little bit for copyright stuff. But this so far,
like,
go ahead.
That one girl, she's familiar. Like, I'm trying to remember where I've seen her.
All right, look her up. I'm going to press play again.
Yeah.
We just need to go home.
I won't keep you if you wish to leave. But I want you to choose which door to go through based on your faith.
What does this have to do with us leaving?
Everything.
I think that we're being studied.
Oh, Boogeyman.
It will make your heart.
It's Sophie Thatcher. She was the daughter in
It
the
may even
Boogeyman last
make
year.
you want to die.
She was the daughter in the Boogeyman?
Yeah, did you see that last year? The Boogeyman?
I don't think so.
It's okay. It wasn't bad. I liked it more than I think a lot of people did. But she's one of the kind of like it girls that's coming up. Like she, I guess starred like she was also in Yellow Jackets, and that's where like she got noticed was from Yellow Jackets, and people started being like, "Well, she's awesome," and then she was cast in the Boogeyman, and now she's also in Maxine coming up. She's in Boba Fett. Like,
yeah, Maxine's coming out.
Yep, and this is
right,
her.
Let's finish this up real quick.
Do not be afraid. You will witness a miracle.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah. Like this has Barbarian written all over it. Like that's this year's Barbarian, where it's out of nowhere. Nobody knew it was coming. And it's just like creepy and weird and fucking cool. But that last shot, remember I was talking about how I got Cabin in the Woods, like a vibe from like, not that it looks like Cabin in the Woods, but that where there's like that where you're actually in this. The whole thing is like a puzzle. The whole thing is like a trap that you're in. And like, as the movie goes, you get more and more of like a realization of what you're a part of. And like, this has that kind of feeling to it, you know?
So it could be like a cross between like Cabin in the Woods and like a Cube type movie also.
Well, I think the fact that they show that means that that's not the real twist and the real hidden mystery in the movie, which is what excites me, because that right there, the fact that you're seeing like, holy shit, the whole house is like this maze, you know what I mean? The fact that they showed that, usually you would think that would be the crux of the movie, right? That means that's probably something you're going to realize on pretty quick. And so his whole talking about religion and you choose and you're going to see a miracle. Like, I don't know. There's a lot of mystery that was set up in that trailer that gets me all excited.
Yeah, I think I think it looks great. I think it looks very good. So those are the two trailers. Comments are hitting the chat about it. And we'll talk to you guys, but there's another movie that you saw that I want you to talk about just a little bit. For those of you who don't know, I smoke a little hookah for the show, and I got some coals that I got to switch out. So Kanan's going to talk about a movie that he watched recently. Give his thoughts a little bit while I switch out my Coles.
Yeah. So
we'll see what it is. So take it away, buddy.
So besides the bike riders this past week, we had a horror movie that was released called The Exorcism with Russell Crowe, right? Is it The Exorcism? Yes. And I've seen so much confusion from people thinking that like literally the cover looks exactly like looks exactly like last year's movie, The Pope's Exorcist. I mean, and everybody is thinking that this is the sequel. And I swear, I wonder, I'm really curious how many people went to see it thinking they were going to see the sequel to The Pope's Exorcist, because The Pope's Exorcist is on Netflix. Like, it actually has gotten a decent amount of buzz, and they are making a sequel, but it doesn't come out till next year. And I swear The Exorcism capitalized on that. Like, they had to have known that. That's got to be why they used that as the cover art for the movie. But I don't know. It is very mid. I didn't even do a review. It's so mid. It's the first horror movie this year that was in theaters that I didn't do a review on. That's how mid it is. Because it just feels like there's nothing worth seeing. Like, it's not like it's a bad movie. And actually the first half of it, I'm like, okay, this is decent. Like, it's not amazing, but this is decent. But then the final act of it, it just really gets stupid. There's lots of CGI that looks really, really bad. And it just ends up being like super trope heavy, like every other exorcism movie that's ever been done that's trying to be The Exorcist. Like, it's just, but the basic idea of it is Russell Crowe plays an actor who's playing a priest. And so that's why he's in the priest getup, but he's not a priest. He's just simply an actor playing a priest in a movie that's basically, they're trying to remake The Exorcist in the, like, so it's like a meta situation kind of in the movie. So kind of think New Nightmare, like, Nightmare on Elm Street, New Nightmare. Like, it's kind of that thing going on. And then he ends up getting possessed basically by this demon that's on set of this movie. And like, the initial idea is kind of interesting. The fact that it like I think you could have done something with that idea, especially because there's so many stories and like so much legend basically that The Exorcist had an actual curse on it. And, supposedly different people died involved in the movie. And there's like all these, like, if you ever look into it, there's a series on Netflix actually called on Shudder called Cursed Films. And The Exorcist is one of the ones they talk about. But there's a bunch of movies that have supposedly cursed sets. But The Exorcist is one of the most famous. And so, like, you could do something with that. And they didn't really explore that element. It's just kind of the sets. They didn't even get into really why the set of this movie is got a demon in it or like on it. It just kind of is. Like, the movie starts out like right away with basically this dude who's playing the Exorcist in the movie getting killed by the demon, and that's how the movie starts. And so they need a new actor to play that role, and that's how Russell Crowe gets cast to be in it. But Russell Crowe's character, he's not playing himself, he's playing a character, but the character is this guy who his wife was dying of cancer, and he like basically slipped into the bottle and became an alcoholic and a piece of shit and let down his daughter. And so he's full of guilt. And so in the movie, he's like riddled with guilt. And so the demon kind of preys on that. I don't know. It's not like I said, it's not a bad movie. I do think Russell Crowe is kind of miscast, though. I don't really think he fits the role. It's not that he does a bad job, but like, I love Russell Crowe, and when he's cast correctly, he's amazing. But he's almost too jovial of a guy, especially now that he's a little bit portly. Like, he doesn't come off as really like his evil person. And so to have him playing this demon possessed guy who says some really fucked up shit to his daughter, like, they say some things and do some things in this that are very obviously them trying to like cross a line and offend people to, to go viral basically in the world.
Right.
Like, it's very obvious that that's what they're trying to do in it. And
right.
And it is fucked up shit. It's very offensive stuff, but it just feels weird coming out of Russell Crowe's mouth. You're like, dude, you would never say that.
Dude,
like,
you're Russell Crowe.
Even in a fictional movie. Like, yeah, I don't know. But yeah, like I said, it's not bad, but it's one that's like, you got nothing else to do and you're bored. Although I could give you 100 movies that are better. But like, if you happen to see it on Netflix and you're not following one of my lists, sure, throw it on. But yeah.
We got
another very mid movie. We've had a lot of very mid movies. So that's why I can't wait now.
For July.
Yeah. Like from here forward, every month there's a couple there's movies that look like they're going to be incredible. So,
All right. Well, let's move on then to the movie that we watched this past week, Isolation. So this movie is one of my.
Off, I was gonna say, why did you choose this? Because what we're doing, in case you weren't here last week, or I don't even know if we talked about this, but what the plan is going forward is each week we're gonna pick a movie for the other to watch, and we're gonna talk about it together. So this was DJ's week, so he picked this movie. So what made you pick this one?
So what made me pick this one is this was actually a movie that I saw last year, and it was recommended to me by a friend. And so I watched it, and it's just a really good low budget or mid budget. I'm not exactly sure what the budget was, but it's not a lot of money. It can't be a lot of money.
Irish.
It's
an Irish.
It's an Irish film, right?
Yeah.
But it's not a lot. It wasn't made for a lot of money. But it's just it's a self-contained story about this farmer who is agreeing to have this genetics project or experiment performed on his cows. And the genetic experiment is to make cows grow faster and become fertile faster as well. So that,
they can produce more milk. Yeah.
Right. So they can produce more milk, meat, whatever.
More
and,
cows.
And as you do, the experiment goes wrong, and it produces these hyper aggressive and very fast growing mutations of cow fetuses, essentially. And what happens is that
so much of that you don't see, which is it's like a low budget way of doing it, but it's also adds to the creepiness of movies, is when you don't really see the thing. It's more like, that there's something fucked up going on, but you don't get really good looks at it always. And when you know what I mean? Like, there's a lot of shadow work and movements like just out of your, in your periphery and things like that. Especially
a lot of stuff happens off screen.
Yeah. Through a lot of this, but you do still get gore. You do still get gross stuff. Like, stuff does happen. I'm not saying like you don't see anything. It goes off the rails, but for a good chunk of this, what makes this movie special to me is literally the namesake of it. The fact that it's called Isolation is a perfect name, because that's what this movie feels like. It feels like you're this group of, you're with this group of people that are like isolated in the middle of fucking nowhere, and this really fucked up shit's happening that they don't even understand at first. And there's the whole people, like the scientists and people aren't being forthcoming with like the information of what's actually happening either.
Yeah. And
so it's like you're aware of something that the cast isn't exactly aware of.
Yeah. And I really enjoyed this movie because I think it's a very well done story. I feel like the plot is executed very well. There's not a lot of holes that you can poke in the story. I think it's acted very well. I think the characters are very well done. You get enough about these characters where you get to know them, and you get to endear yourself to them, and you care about what's going on. And the creature is, even though it's in the shadows most of the time, you get enough good looks at it to where it's gross. It's very like there's some very Cronenberg-esque shots in this movie that is just, you're looking at these things and you're like, ugh, and so you get a lot of.
It stars Ruth Negga, who the first, like, I knew her from Priest, the TV series Priest, and she's fantastic in that. And then when I saw her in this, I was like, yeah, which I guess technically she did this before Priest, but if you're familiar with the TV series Priest, you'll know who I'm talking about. But she's great in this.
Yeah, no, she's very good, and her and her boyfriend are kind of part of the secondary story of what's going on. So that's not a spoiler, but yeah, no, she does really well in it. Everybody does really well in this movie, and it's just a really good. It's
besides
just
her, I think that the only, like, they're probably known in Ireland, like Essie Day. I know I've seen Essie Davis and some stuff, and John Lynch, but none of them are like really, like, they're not like household name actors, but they're all really good at acting, if that makes sense. Like,
yes. And so I just think it's a very well done
actors.
Very well done, low budget indie that I recommend people watch as movies that are good, that can be produced nowadays, where you don't have to, you don't have to watch all the Hollywood trash anymore. You can find, there's movies out there like Isolation, and they're still being made today, but they're movies that I don't think Isolation, I don't think it gets enough credit. I don't think it gets pushed enough. And so I wanted to push that, on this channel and really talk about it.
It's a mood. Like, that's what's cool about it. It's a mood. Like, it has this like look to it. It's very like sweaty and dirty and kind of grimy feeling. Like, some of it has to do with the low budget of it. Like, it's not the most high polished kind of movie, but it's also like the location, the set, like nothing feels all overly polished, which is kind of the issue sometimes with earlier 2000s movies, is like they would have that almost ultra polish on them where everything felt like it's from a Spirit Halloween, not
that really clean sheen. Yeah.
It's something I actually really like about a lot of Irish movies in general. I don't know exactly what it is, but like Stitches is another indie movie from Ireland that has that feel to it. So does what's the other one? I had it in my head and then I just lost it.
I don't know. I'm actually looking up. I'm trying to see
there's
what
been
they shot this on. They shot it on Super 35, it looks like.
You're the filmmaker guy. I'm not super.
Yeah, I don't
know the specs of things.
Yeah, well, I was just curious. I just wanted to see what it was. I just want to see what it was shot on, because it looks like
But I don't think it's so much to do with the cameras, though. That's why I was saying it's kind of an Irish thing, and I don't know exactly what it is. It's like, recently, they did Unwelcome. Unwelcome has that look, and that's a movie that just came out last year. And it's just something about, like, I think it just has to do with what they like what their artist, simply the way they see film. Kind of like Australian movies have like a kind of and South African as well, where they're just like a certain sensibility of color theories and the way they use lighting, and it's hard to even really express. It's just like when you watch enough movies, you start to see these things. And certain countries, like South Korean movies, they feel similar. Like there's a certain, like, beyond the way that people look in the cities and all that, I just mean like literally the filmmakers themselves, there's a certain look to them and feel to them, and this has that vibe, that Irish vibe that I love. So
yeah, it looks like it was shot on like a DSLR, but it was obviously shot on a film camera with Super 35, so that, I mean, that's good. 2.39 aspect ratio for the tech nerds out there. But yeah, I mean, like, definitely go watch Isolation. If you've not seen it, go watch it.
And it's available on right now on Prime Video.
Yeah,
I'm actually working on a video, and it'll be on that as one of the recommendations on that video that'll come out like this Saturday.
Nice.
But yeah, it's available on Prime Video. So if you have a Prime Video membership, it's free on there. I think it's also available. I think it's on Tubi right now, but I'm not 100% sure. But it's generally available somewhere. So, and even if you got to spend like $2-3 to rent it, it's worth it. It's a really
definitely
quality.
Worth it.
Yeah,
and you're
it's a
giving
really quality little movie.
Yeah, and you're giving indie money by spending $2 or $3 or $4 on it. You're giving indie money, which is a better place to spend your money than Hollywood.
Yep.
Mr. Wonderful says the reason why some great films get overlooked has everything to do with who finances or who the financiers and advertisers are, I guess. Most advertisers tend to flock to major entertainment companies. Yeah, I mean, that's true. You definitely have to
talking about other countries, it's a little different. Like when we're talking about an indie movie from another country, though, it's like it's not exactly, it falls into kind of almost a whole different category, because a lot of the times a movie that we think of as a small indie movie is actually pretty big in that country.
Yeah, I guess you're right. I don't know. I haven't been watching. I don't necessarily get. I don't get a lot of Irish entertainment news. So, I mean, you might be right.
Yeah, it's just what I'm getting at is, it's like, for instance, in Canada, you can make a movie in Canada and they will pay for it. Like there is like tons of different grants for, I think it's $1 million. And I think,
yeah, I'm
not sure if Ireland has the same thing, but I know there's things similar to that where they'll literally give you money to make a movie, because it's, as long as you're using their people, everything has to be done there. You can't hire people from other countries or whatever. It's got to be the money going back into their economy.
Right.
But then when you do that, you're also like, you're getting a movie made, which is amazing, but then you're also not getting it made by Hollywood, which means you're not getting a Hollywood distributor. So it's like Canadian movies, Brandon Cronenberg, because he has a name, but even in a lot of his movies have fallen into that category because he gets Canada to pay to make his movies. He's also beholden to not giving money, because if you're a big production company in Hollywood, you're going to make sure that you're making your money back, which means you're going to make sure it's being distributed by a major Hollywood distributor. But if you're making a movie in Canada, those Hollywood distributors, they don't have, they're not going to be making a bunch of money. They're not in bed with you, basically.
Right.
And so it makes it harder a lot of times for other countries, like a movie like When Evil Lurks from last year from Argentina. Like it's harder for movies like that to get distribution, even though in their country they may be a big deal. Outside of the country, it's tougher. But then sometimes you have stuff like Talk to Me from last year, which was made in Australia. Everybody in Australia was involved in it, but yet it actually had to get totally separate distribution from Australia. Like it was actually distributed here first because they took it to Cannes, and was it Cannes? Anyway, they took it to the film festivals and they got bought by A24, who distributed it all over the United States, but they don't distribute in Australia. So it had to get different distribution in their own country. So it's one of those. So like, my point is just that sometimes you see a movie and you think it's like a little itty bitty nothing. It's like, well, it's from that country. So like in South Korea, it may be a huge fucking deal, but like a good example of that is in Thailand, the movie that super bloody movie. I think it's Thailand, right?
The super bloody movie from Thailand. Let me Google it.
It's the one that's inspired by The Crossed graphic novel.
Oh, I don't. The Whole Truth?
No.
I'm just looking at it.
The Sadness.
Oh, The Sadness. That was from Thailand?
I think it's Thailand. Maybe not, but the point is, I forget what country but the country it's from, it's actually a monster hit, huge movie. And it took like, I think a year or 2 years to even come to our country. Like you couldn't even watch it here until I think it was almost 2 years after it was released because they couldn't get distribution. They were trying to get distribution. And then once again, Shudder picked it up. I think Shudder IFC.
That movie,
their little team up picked it up.
That movie made me want to shower afterwards.
Yep. I think to me, it lost after about, I don't know, 20, 30 minutes of watching it. It lost all its ability to make me feel anything anymore.
Yeah.
It's like
it's a little too much too soon.
Yeah, it was too much. It was just too much constantly. It's like when I made music, I made metal music, right? And we would always talk about ebb and flows of music. It's like if you're from moment one, 1,000 miles an hour, that's what you are. But if you
got to keep it up.
like a roller coaster and you come up and down, then when you go heavy and really go for it, it has so much more impact than if you're just constantly heavy.
That's why that's why my favorite genre of metal.
Movies.
That's why my favorite genre of metal is melodic death.
Yeah.
Melodic death is my favorite genre of metal for that reason, because it's like a roller coaster. It's like storytelling in music. And I love that. And I know that's the same for a lot of all the other different genres, but like melodic death is definitely like, it's exactly what you're talking about.
It's what I really like about that new Falling in Reverse song, which I'm not a huge Falling in Reverse fan, but what's it called? That their newest single. It's like just literally his name.
Oh yeah. I don't know. I can't remember. I know
anyway, their latest single. It's like there's a section of it where there's hip hop. There's a section of it where it literally sounds like Queen, like it's all melodic-y and stuff. There's the most heaviest savage death metal at points. It's like Ronald, thank you. It's got like grindcore going, like it's just all over the place. And it's just fun. Like you don't know what to expect next. It's also why I'm like my favorite band right now as far as rock. They're metal, but they're like more in the rock side of metal, is Sleep Token. I love Sleep Token because you never know what to expect. It's like they'll come at you with like melodic jazz that goes into like some pretty heavy shit, and like it's just like a melodic symphony, you know?
Yeah. I would call them more progressive, but I understand where you're coming.
That's why I said they're more rock than metal. They're like on that edge.
They're teetering that line between progressive and rock, or like stuff like that. Like progressive metal. And
it's
rock.
Like it's like a thriller movie.
Yeah, there's a couple. There's a couple of Sleep Token songs.
Thriller, not quite horror.
Yeah, there's a couple of Sleep Token songs that I like. I've been listening to a lot of you threw me off with Sleep Token. A lot of I'm gonna forget, so I don't want dead air.
Have you heard Knocked Loose?
No.
I was checking out some of their new. No. It's a band called Knocked Loose.
Oh, okay. Spirit Box is the band that I was thinking of. I've been listening to a lot of
Spirit Box.
Yeah,
that's a perfect example of that as well.
Yeah, Spirit Box is
they do get pretty heavy. Like Spirit Box goes straight into metal.
Oh yeah.
But then they also have like super melodic-y bridges.
Their music videos are great too.
Huh?
Their music videos are great too.
Yeah. Yep. And she's gorgeous too. Like,
yes,
gorgeous woman with extremely beautiful voice, like, and aggressive vocals. Like, we're seeing a lot of female vocalists that can do heavy vocals now, but like, only
Tatiana, somebody from Ginger.
Yeah, Ginger. She's probably the best at it, I would say.
Yeah, both those ladies have a set of pipes on them.
Where they genuinely sound aggressive, though. It's not like they're just like a woman yelling. It's like just an aggressive vocal. It doesn't matter male, female. It doesn't even matter. It's like you hear it and you're just like, that is fucking sick. Whereas like, as someone that did heavy vocals for 20 years, like there's some people like Falling in Reverse, you know, the singer, he can't really do really heavy vocals. They sound a bit airy. Like even when he goes to his heaviest, it's like it's not really locked in. Like there's some vocalists that can lock in and it doesn't sound airy, and then there's other ones where it sounds a little weak. Like it sounds a little like
it's all about the technique.
Yeah, it's hard to explain.
You got to get that technique down.
Yeah, it's hard to explain, but yeah.
All right, well, I think that's going to do it for us. It's been 1 hour. It's 8 o'clock since we started streaming. That's what we do here on the Screaming Room is stream for 1 hour, Wednesday nights, 7 p.m. Eastern, whatever time that is and whatever time zone you're in. But that's what we're doing here.
So if you haven't subscribed to the Screaming Room, make sure you go over there and subscribe on YouTube, because we're trying to grow that channel enough that we can do these just from there. Like we keep doing them from the Ghost Pirate channel as well, because we're just trying to get as many people to know about it as possible. But we definitely want to be doing it just on the Screaming Room so that the algorithm can do something with this.
Yeah, we're trying to make this a thing. We really want this to be a big podcast for all horror lovers. What's going on, Slow Press? Sorry you missed us. You can watch the replay though. Talked about a lot of really cool stuff. But if you haven't subscribed, I just put the link into the chat. Please subscribe to the Screaming Room. Like the video, share it around.
If you're on Ghost Pirate, it's pinned. It should be pinned in the comments. So
yeah, so you can see us here and leave a comment. Please let us know what you think of the show. And
what are some movies? What are some movies that you guys think we should be reviewing? Like, we're only doing smaller indie stuff. Like it could be some, but like it could be a studio one, but it's got to be movies that are like that are not well known.
Yes, we really want to push indie films. That's what we.
But even if it's a studio one, it needs to be a movie that's like forgotten or like that deserves love that isn't getting it, even if it is preferably indie. But we would love to hear your guys' suggestions. So leave them in the comments so that we can keep track of them and not forget them and stuff. So
yes, please.
Not in the chat, not right now.
Yeah, in the comment section. Let us know in the comment section what you want us to watch. So we'd be doing that.
And if you see someone else that leaves a movie that you'd like to see us cover, make sure you hit the like button on that comment so that we see that, hey, a lot of people want us to do that one.
Yes. All right. Well, that's going to do it for us. Thanks again for watching. I am DJ Remark. This is Mr. Kenny Becker, and we will see y'all next week.
Thanks, guys.
Later.